Lakan Guro Ernie Lake here with Filipino Combat Systems, FCS Kali, and we are going to be demonstrating one of our stick transition drills, which actually kind of goes over a concept of not a vertical hubud motion, but almost like a horizontal hubud motion. So we'll be ranging between 3 quadrants. So if I have my hands up like this, there's a quadrant on this side. There's a quadrant between my 2 hands, and there's a quadrant to the outside of my stick hand. So we're going to range through those 3 quadrants. All right, here we go. So I'm going to use this as a delivery system for this technique. I'm just going to enter in with a 4 count. I can enter in with a roof. There are lots of different entries we can use, but we like to do this because we like to do this out of motion, okay, not out of a static type of technique or a feed. So this is more of a dynamic way of entering for us. So I'm going to enter in and I'm going to PUNYO. I'm going to try to buy time and clear this off, but he comes back in before I have the ability to try to do whatever I was going to do, whether it be PUNYO or hit or whatever that is. Does that make sense? So I'm going to enter in. I'm going to try to buy time, move away from that line. I'm going to clear this off, but he comes in and he tries to hit me. I'm going to check with my left hand, and then reapply my PUNYO, which he checks. I'm going to clear off, and then it starts all over again. So PUNYO checks, left hand maintains, right PUNYOs. And then you rinse, wash, and repeat. So this looks pretty boring, but at any time I can exit out and then enter back in. So right now I'm working in the middle quadrant. Anytime I want to, I can go to the outside of the quadrant by using my PUNYO. It is a PUNYO roll. I check, and then he comes at me. I have to check, and then I'm back in the middle quadrant again. So we've dealt with this quadrant. We've dealt with this quadrant. Now let's go to the outside quadrant, which would be a vertical hubud. I roll in, come underneath, check, and now I'm back in the center quadrant again. And if I want to, I can always exit out. Alright, here we go. So we enter in using this dynamic entry off of movement, not a static entry. Roll in, I'm going to throw my PUNYO. I'm going to clear, and then I'm going to stay in this center quadrant. Okay, so John puts his arms out. This is quadrant, the center, outside, outside. Okay, so we're just going to stay in this quadrant. Now if I want to, I can go to the outside of this quadrant, over here, and then as he attacks, I transition back to the center. Ideally, I'd like to go here, but if I get a turn, then he gets a turn. So he comes back in, and then we continue the drill. Now, if I want to go to the outside of this arm, I roll to the outside, and now you're in a traditional hubud line. To transition back in, I roll using this PUNYO roll. You'll see that happen a lot, whether I'm traveling to the outside of that arm, like that, or to the outside of this arm, and then back out. And if I want to enter in, I'm back here again. So as a little bit of detail, one of the aspects of FCS is that we like to deal with a little bit larger PUNYO than a lot of systems. We don't do it all the time, but sometimes when you're in tight, a little bit more PUNYO is good, because we use the PUNYO like a hand. And not just to grab, because you can grab with your hand, but we use it to move and clear. So an example of that is John comes in and he goes to hit me. I may check here. I may roof here. I may do whatever. okay? But if I'm in here, what I can do is I can roll this, and now I have a hook, and I can clear that down. Of course, he can do the same thing to me, you know, and he clears me out. Now, if I want to go to the inside, I roll the punyo in. I can roll the punyo here to get to the outside, because the farther I am away from that stick, the more safe I am, but at the same time, he can still hit me. So if I want to, he can come in, try to hit. There we go, and I can clear out. And then he decides to clear out and just break the engagement. But this ability to maneuver using this punyo, I can lock, I can break, I can manipulate. There's a lot of things that we do with this punyo that a lot of systems, they don't really utilize it as much.